Engineer Aisha Mohamed Al-Abdooli, the Director of Green Development and Environment Affairs Department at the UAE's Ministry of Climate Change and Environment. Along with her is Derar Manaseer, Executive Director of Group Strategy and Sustainability at ADNEC Group. Fazal Abdool-Rahiman, Group Director of Sustainability and Climate Change at TAQA, Abu Dhabi National Energy Company, and of course your moderator, Layan Abushkaya, Editor and Researcher at Forbes Middle East. Please put your hands together in welcoming them to the stage.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the final session of the day. I hope you've been enjoying the day so far. Actually, today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is clean energy. So we will be exploring how renewable power is reshaping our energy systems and what is needed to make clean energy the foundation of the future. And to address this topic, I have three incredible panelists, each who have their own marks when it comes to this topic. I would like to actually start with Engineer Aisha. So can you tell us, from your point of view, so renewable energy is not only about reducing emissions, but it's also about ensuring long-term resilience and energy security. So can you tell us what role does green development play in strengthening the UAE's transition to a clean and independent energy future?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. And a very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for staying with us until this time. I know that it's very late in this afternoon, but we will make sure that your stay is really valuable and rewarding. So to start with, as you know, that green development is really a paramount for UAE transition to a clean and independent energy future. That is extending far beyond just reduction of emission. It's going actually, and we are aiming to bolster the long-term resilience and energy security. According to IEA report, it was showing that UAE has seen significant gains in solar PV, and recently with the Baraka nuclear plant completed its 1 year of I would say complete operation, delivering its promising clean energy source over the clock. That was really a very important addition to our energy mix. And green development foster resilience by promoting sustainable resource management and innovation. So this holistic approach that we are adopting here in UAE, it ensures that we do have a robust, a cost-effective, and a self-sufficient and environmentally responsible energy system here in our country.
Absolutely, and as you know, collaboration is key when it comes to achieving these goals. So as the UAE accelerates its clean energy pivot, can you tell us how can cross-sector collaboration between government, industry, and communities help overcome challenges such as financing, adoption, and scalability of renewable solutions?
Well, that is a very important question to be addressed in this session, because in UAE, cross-sector collaboration is actually indispensable, and we are using that to overcome the multifaceted challenges that we are facing, whether regarding to finance or adoption or scalability toward achieving our energy goals and energy objectives. So if we look at the finance aspect, then UAE banks actually offers a financial backbone to climate action with several initiatives, such as, for example, mobilizing 1 trillion dirham to sustainable finance by 2030. If we look at the adoption and the industry, you will see that our national approach is really taking in consideration and centered around empowerment and empowering the private sector. That is very important for us, and also to establish for them a clear framework to enhance their contribution to the country's climate goal. And if we look at the third aspect, which is related to the community itself, then that is very important to engage the community through different awareness campaigns, through different activities that they can be involved in, and that will also provide, we have also to provide them with an innovative financial options that they can adopt and they can use and encourage to be used in order to participate in this journey. So you will see that we are taking here a whole of a society approach to actually achieve our energy sustainability and energy security.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Engineer Aisha. And so now we've taken the policy lens, but I want to also take it and look at the actual players who are actually implementing this on ground. So, Mr. Derar, you lead ADNEC, and you lead part of ADNEC, and which is one of the UAE's largest, actually, and dynamic events venues. Today we're here and we can see sustainability being implemented everywhere. So can you tell us what are the main challenges and opportunities when it comes to integrating renewables into existing infrastructure, and how can organizations overcome them?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon again. I mean, speaking about the example of ADNEC and adopting the renewable energy, we do have a diverse portfolio of assets, and some of those assets are a little bit older than others. So one of the, I would say, the things that we need to consider, it's not a challenge in the real definition of challenge, but it's something that we need to consider in the planning phase, is how to integrate the new network, the new setup with the existing infrastructure. And sometimes there are like prerequisites that you need to do in order to upgrade your existing infrastructure in order to be able to integrate. So technology adoption, readiness of the venue, that is one of the key aspects that we need to consider. Planning as well is very important, because between the new teams and the new clean energy provider and network with your existing teams, there must be a lot of synergy, harmony, and joint planning in order to ensure that projects will be implemented on time and to achieve the desired outcome. Another point that we need to consider is to study carefully your load profile and the real consumption of the venue. As you know, ADNEC centers in general within ADNEC Group, we are events driven, which means we have seasonality. And sometimes you don't want to overproduce clean energy, because that also will go into the regulation aspect of what to do with the extra produced clean energy, how to store it, where to store it. So in order to properly plan this, we need to carefully study the consumption requirements of the asset, and accordingly design and build and implement a clean energy network that is suitable for the assets. These are the key aspects that we should consider to ensure that the project will be very effective and achieve the direct results.
And can you tell us how can large-scale venues contribute to the region's clean energy transition, and what would be the key enablers in accelerating this transition?
It's a very good question, because I always believe that big players, whether from the business volume or from the asset volume, should be a role model to lead by example. And I believe that it has been our responsibility as ADNEC Group, since we do have a lot of heavy asset-driven type of business, whether here in UAE or in the UK, and we should act so that others follow. So that's one responsibility on us. And also because of the scale and the size, the impact will be measurable and tangible, and whatever we do, it will be very impactful. So that is a very good demonstration what we should do in front of the, within our ecosystem. Plus, the things that will help, you asked me about the enablers, leadership commitment, clarity of objectives, I think collaboration within the organization and with stakeholders and partners from outside is important. For example, we wouldn't have been in this position without the collaboration with EWIC. And now we are proud and announcing that the whole facility is powered by clean energy. But that was an outcome of a very good project and collaboration between us and EWIC in order to cover ADNEC assets. And we are happy now to announce that we will extend this agreement, and we can announce it even before the official announcement that Layan Convention Center will be also covered by clean energy. So this kind of impactful, good partnerships is very important as a demonstration for others to follow. I don't want to spend more time because I know we are limited time. I'll leave any time for you as well.
Thank you so much, Mr. Derar, and for sharing this announcement with us. It's absolutely great to know that. I now want to move to the technical and the engineering side of things. So, Dr. Ibraheem, you've been leading Masdar, and as we know, Masdar is at the forefront of renewable innovation globally, not just regionally. And energy storage is often described as the linchpin of renewable power the future. Can you tell us how is Masdar approaching advancements in battery storage to ensure grid stability and unlock the full potential of renewable energy?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for hosting me here with my colleagues, panelists here. I think before going and answering the technical question, I want to share with you, I think, what UAE has created. And this is, I think, what's been touched upon by my colleagues. UAE is being considered as a benchmark, to be honest, on sustainability and the efforts that we are putting in place in order to fight the climate change. Not only here locally, but also, as I said, that as Masdar, we are the renewable energy champion. We are active in more than 40 countries. So we have been very proactive in order to support multinationals globally in order to achieve their decarbonization strategy. One of the bottlenecks that we are facing in the renewable energy, as you have highlighted, is the intermittent nature of the renewable energy. So we produce electricity from the solar whenever we have the sun, and we produce electricity from the wind when we have the wind blowing. And this has been a challenge within the renewable energy sector for a while, since the old days. And there have been multiple solutions in the market where Masdar have adopted a couple of them. For example, we have deployed thermal storage back in 2012 in Spain in order to ensure that we can have baseload power supply. But recently, because of the advancement that started to happen with the battery storage more specifically, thanks for the automobile sectors, there have been advancement in the efficiency. So we are now having higher efficient battery storage solution. We are having even cheaper solution to store the electricity, which has not been the case in the past. But also, more importantly, is the longevity of those containers or the battery storage, where now you can cycle the battery for more cycles than what it used to be in the old days. And in Masdar, as I said, that we have deployed battery storage in multiple projects globally. In the US, we have also successful implementation on Uzbekistan. But what is going to change the landscape of the renewable energy, what was announced at the beginning of the year by Masdar, along in partnership with ADNEC, where we have launched round the clock, where we are providing power supply from renewable energy 24/7. And this is one of its kind. It's in partnership with ADNEC, as I said. It was witnessed also by the President of the country, Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed, to showcase exactly that what we might be able to do with the renewable, now it starts to become even cost-effective and even more competitive than conventional ways of producing electricity.
Thank you so much. And I want to actually focus on the barriers. So financing and infrastructure investments remain key barriers, especially in emerging markets. So can you tell us from your perspective, what innovative financing models or partnerships are needed to scale renewable development and make clean power accessible globally?
Our DNA is around barriers. So we look at the barriers and try to create opportunities, to be honest, whether it's technical, financial, commercial, and this is what we are good at, Masdar. And we have many examples where we have seen the barriers of injecting capital, for example, since we are talking about renewable energy, and most of the renewable energy, they are capex intensive infrastructure projects. Most of the good sites for renewable solar and wind, usually they are far away from the city, so you need to invest heavily in the infrastructure. And this is where we have adopted different models within Masdar. The first one, we have been creating a little bit of benchmark in certain markets, like in Central Asia. We have very successful example where we have developed, constructed, and now it's reached the operational phase. 500 megawatts is the largest wind farm in Central Asia, in Uzbekistan. And it's for the first time we managed to also bring commercial lenders to be part of the financing for the project, which is typically on those regions. We are relying on DFIs, development banks, rather than commercial banks. But we have been supported by Ittihad Credit Insurance, for example, in order to give more insurance for the commercial lenders to come and invest. So this is one of the ways that we have adopted, and we have been setting the benchmark in that specific region. Another example that Masdar has marked also a 3 billion green bond financing tool that is going to support Masdar with our ambitious strategy to achieve 100 giga renewable energy by 2030. And we be managing to have 3 rounds of green bond issuance in the last 3 years since 2023, and we managed to attract 2.75 billion US dollar, where we are using now for those investment or those funds in order to sponsor and deploy more renewable energy in emerging markets.
Thank you so much. You mentioned a really interesting point that barriers are opportunities, and I think that's why we are all here. I would like to thank my panelists for sharing their insights with us, and for the audience for being with us. And we would love to see you also tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you.